Hello, it's just me again. And it's kind of weird without Mike, but I said I'd come back and do an update, and I really don't have anything to update on because it's been 2 weeks, over 2 weeks, and I have not heard from Mike at all anywhere. So I can only hope and pray that he is safe. And if there's an investigation, he might just have to be quiet. I don't know. I'm hoping he's getting help, and we'll see. Now, I won't come back and do any kind of update unless I hear something or know something. And I'm sure he'll come back. If he comes back, he'll be posting, you'll know. And we will do a video if he comes back. But I did want to do this also today because I have to tell you something about Michelle Moore, and I want to disclose it. It's something that Mike and I haven't disclosed. And I want to put it out there because if there is an investigation, I don't want no one to come back on me and say, wait, why didn't you tell us about this? I don't know what this means. And I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know what her intentions were. But people need to know. So as Mike does or did, I'm going to also document this because I want it. I don't want to be holding anything back. Um, and well, here's the thing. She sent me something. Okay. This is not her address at the top. That's a UPS box. But this isn't open. Okay. I didn't open it, Michelle. I actually was going to send it back, and I was going to write return to sender. And then I wrote her a separate letter and I said, don't ever send me anything again. But I have to kind of give you a background on this before I open it. But I could read it. She made it pretty easy on me, so I know what it says. So I told Mike, but he told me to hang on to it. It's evidence. And he said, don't send it back to her. Keep it. Well, now I don't have him to guide me, so I'm going to put it out there because it's me now, and I'm doing what I think I need to do. So I don't know when he was going to bring it up, but it wasn't, I guess, important enough that he thought we needed to add it in there. I don't know. Um, but I'm going to do it today. I will open it then. But I have to give you a little bit of a background real quick, and I don't want to ramble. But I want to tell you a little bit of the timeline leading up to this, and just to have it all together. And I'm thinking we talked about some of it, Mike and I, but I need to have it all together in one video so that it's all together. Okay. So let me start with in June 2024. Now, Dee Boomasan sent me this because I didn't have it anymore, switching phones and different stuff. So in June, at the top, you'll see it's a three-way text. Now, it's Michelle, me, and Dee. Okay. It started on June 20th, 2024. And I can't get this thing to go away here. She, first of all, she did not add Mike. And I told Mike, I said, hey, she just started a three-way text thread with Dee and me. And he goes, what? And I said, wonder why she didn't add you. And he's like, I don't know. And so that was the first suspicion that Mike probably had. I wasn't as suspicious because I assumed, knowing she blows up your phone, she text messages nonstop. So I'm thinking she just didn't want to over or like blow up his phone, with all that. And she just didn't want to burden him with all the stuff that she sends. I don't know. But when you think about it, it's like if you're going to be transparent, if you're a team, you all should be on that. I don't know. So that was in June 2024. Then in July, um, she asked for my address, and she calls me up and she says, hey, doll, I'm going to need your address. I have to send you something for your eyes only. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I really don't want to give her my address, but I didn't have a lot of red flags on her. And I figured, knowing she has an investigator, she will just look it up anyway. And if, in case you didn't know, she has an investigator that she digs up dirt on everybody. And I've said it before. That's how we got Script Keeper's criminal report and found out he's a felon. So I gave her my address, and I didn't get anything. It was like months. And I'm like, August went by and I'm thinking, great. She just wanted to, then I got suspicious. And I'm like, she just wanted to look dirt up on me, because you need the address pretty much to, if an investigator wants to look up, you can make sure you have the right person, basically. So I questioned that then, and it bothered me. Okay, then I got that letter, but anyway, at the same time, this is July now, last year, 2024. Mike started calling out Ariel, and he gradually got worse and worse with it. Now, all this time from July to August, Mike was calling out everybody. Okay, he was just, if you remember, if you were there at that time, he was going full force on everybody on Twitter, Script, Alvear, and whoever. So we were fighting from July to August. D will attest to this. D Boomasan will say, yeah, we were fighting these minions every day, nonstop. So Michelle didn't like it. Her and Mike had a fight about all that a lot, behind the scenes, and Mike sent me everything that they talked about. So I've seen it all. So that went through all of August. Then let me see what I have here. Let me see. In September the 5th, she just out of the blue texts on our three-way, "I love you, Crash, and D, thank you for everything you two do." Okay, now that's the 5th of September. So 2 days after that, now you probably have seen it, we posted it, but 2 days on the 7th, she did a show, and at the end, she kind of did a little bit on Mike and said, how much she trusts him and loves him, and he's telling the truth, and she knows she can spot a liar when she sees him, and she knows he's not lying. And she went through all that, like a 15-minute praise. She praised Mike. So that was 2 days after that text from her on ours. So that's the time when Mike was really hitting Ariel hard. Okay, now we're into September. So the 10th, 11th, and like the 12th, Mike was fighting with Michelle behind the scenes. And she even said, he was saying, "I want to go on and talk about Ariel." And she said, "Absolutely not." Now, this is this is from Mike's phone, but the blue is Mike and the gray is Michelle. And at the bottom, she says, "I am not okay with going after Ariel. Absolutely not." So you can screenshot that if you want to, but he's already posted this. So that was the 10th. And she fought him tooth and nail, really. She was like, I guess, I don't know, protecting what Mike felt was protecting Ariel. Now, I want to tell you something about Ariel. What else? I have this. Mike sent this then. Now, this was a day later, but in here he says, okay, the way he writes, you'll get it, but they are absolute truth. What he meant was what he was saying about what he was saying, I guess, is the absolute truth. And you're no warrior. They scare you, Alvear, and then Young. Ariel petrified you. It always came back to him. It's why you didn't support Crash against him. Ratings, nice job this week. So now she was worried about her ratings. She was worried about her numbers. She said to him, "We aren't going to make the top 10 if you keep talking about Ariel." So she tried to make it about the numbers. And Mike's like, "Look, people need to know what I'm seeing." And so that's where they kind of had their main beef, was Ariel. And I will say this, that's when I started really getting upset with her, because Ariel admitted to having child porn on his computers, 2 computers. And then he blames, well, they're my mom's computers. And then he says, but we called Comcast and complained and they removed it. I guess he thinks we're stupid, but that's not going to happen that way. So it's more like, hey, we caught you. Here's the deal we need you to do. And, you could even maybe get paid if you do it right. So he's now a monetized Twitter user. I don't know. But anyway, so the thing is, she chose Ariel, knowing he's admitted that, over me. And as far as I know, she didn't find any dirt on me, and I know there ain't any. So I'd like to know what would make her choose Ariel over me. So Mike knew this. And what happened was, which I didn't know right away, I busted on Ariel as well. And probably July or August. I have the I have everything in my phone. I just didn't want to post everything. And she got irate, and she called Mike immediately and said, and she dropped F bomb after F bomb. Miss Godley does have a trash mouth. And she said, we have to cut her loose. We can't have this. She's picking on Ariel. That ain't going to happen. And Mike's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't even know who Ariel is. What is your concern with Ariel? So that's when Mike really, really got suspicious, when she wanted to cut me loose and over Ariel. So I was like done with her at that point, but I had to keep going because I didn't know what else, we were in this, and, to see where it leads. And, eventually we know, but that was, I don't know if everybody knew that, but she had a fit. She went livid on the fact that I just posted someone else's tweet and commented on that about Ariel. Ariel used a fake tweet from Trump and pretended it was real. So anyway, that's what Mike meant when he said, taking Ariel over Crash. But later, then after she hates me so much, and okay, now we're back to the time frame here. The 10th was when they had their argument. This was overnight on the 12th. Now I was in bed, and you'll all have seen this, but she was telling us this on the three-way. And then she also said, he's not Fed, he's CIA asset. So she knows this. Okay. I have proof. Okay. So that was on the night of the 12th. And I hadn't seen it till morning because my time zone's different. So it was her and Dee talking. And in that same thread, Dee's like, well, we know Ariel's a Fed and whatever. And she didn't bat an eye at it. She didn't correct him. She didn't say, no, wait, we don't know for sure. We can't say that, which you think if she's not, she won't let Mike talk about it, but she's going to let Dee talk about it. So I don't know, figure that out. But she sent that overnight. Okay. And as soon as I saw it in the morning, I'm like, Mike, what the hell? So I show Mike, and that's when he gets on Twitter and I guess he figured we got to burn the bridge with her, and see what happens. So he started busting really, really, really hard on Ariel. And he told Michelle, we're not going on the show if I can't talk about Ariel. And so that was the week that the show would have been. And it was 9/11. So Michelle's like, it's 9/11, talk about 9/11. And Mike's like, I don't have anything to say about 9/11, so that's where that kind of blew up. So now we have Michelle knowing Ariel has proof. How does she know? Number one, she must talk to Ariel. Who is Ariel? I mean, really, I can't believe I even followed that guy or account. So, and then they're saying that they have proof, that Ariel knows Nick is CIA. So that means Michelle knows. It's just a big connect the dots. If your brain cells hold hands, you can connect the dots. Okay. I don't know how else to put it. So she's involved with it somehow. Okay. So now she's mad at me. But then she told me she loves me. So now next day, the 13th, that's when all hell broke loose on Twitter. And she blocked Mike and said he was lying and all that kind of thing. Let me see if I have another. I don't think I have any more screenshots of that. No. So she blocked us because, number one, I don't know what she thinks Mike was lying about, her being scared of Ariel. And we've already discussed this, but who cares, right? And like this person said, I have this. People were calling her names left and right. Grifters said Michelle's a whore. They call her the cunt and everything else. And she bounced right back, and which is true. And then Mike comes out and says, look, Ariel scares Michelle, but he don't scare me. And she freaks out. I mean, really? She's had tougher skin than that, because she dealt with, like I said, 2 months straight of these minions coming at us from Script and Ariel and all them. So she now all of a sudden wants to create a big scene with Mike and all that. So then I'm still thinking, shit, she has my address. Not that it matters now, but she blocked us. We did her thing. And then I get this. Okay. So now I'm going to open it. What it says was, Stacy, Mike and I have burner phones. Yeah. If you ever need to speak with him or me, where we know that no one is listening, call us from a phone that's not yours. Now, okay, let me finish. Okay, then she gives me a number for Mike and a number for her. And I will tell you, I'm not going to show you those numbers. The numbers aren't assigned to her and Mike. And when I told Mike about this, he said, "That's bullshit. I don't have a burner phone from this is a Tennessee exchange." And then at the end, this now remember, I got the, oh, I didn't tell you, I got this November 4th, after 2 months after she blocked us and freaked out about how terrible we are and liars and calling us names and whatever. She sends me this love note. And then at the bottom, it says, "Love, heart, Michelle," you know. So anyway, I'm going to open it. But I was afraid. And then I said, what if it's like laced? Well, if it is, then I'm doing it on camera and you're all going to see. But she knows I'm going to use probably my husband's cell phone. So meaning now she'll have his number. You know what I mean? What is her intentions? What does she think that I'm going to talk to her about privately? And especially after she like flipped on us, you know what I mean? On both of us. So here it is. I can't get my camera right. I'm opening it up. Michelle Moore. Okay. And I'm gonna post a picture of it, but I'm such a dumbass. So hopefully I can edit that because I showed the numbers and not that it probably matters, but I'm gonna do it again. So this is you have to have your face in there. I'm trying to get, hang on. Let me fold it over. Try this. Duh. Okay. So that's the that's the card. Okay, I'll post a picture of it. I can't believe I hope I can fix that, but I'm going to try and splice these videos together. So anyway, that is what I want to show you. Now, what are her intentions? I'll take any if anybody knows, I don't understand it. Like, why would she send me this 2 months? And worse yet, it was during election. And if you remember, that was the election day. It got to me on election day. If you remember, Mike had a known connection to a Fed contact him the minute they called Trump to win that night on election night and say, "Hey, it would really be in your best interest if you work with Scott McMahon." So she planned this to timed it as well with the election. Why did she wait? What were they up to? You know, tell me she's not in on something. And why would I, after she laid into me, about being, and well, she sent me a text at the end, but why would I call her? She ain't straightforward, you know. So I don't know. We'll see. But I know she won't answer this, but or reply to this or talk about it or anything. But you know what, Michelle? If there's an investigation, like I pray there is, I hope they start with you. Yeah. Because I have questions that aren't answered, and so do other people. And for Mike's sake, I would like to have, you know, answers, but I don't know if we'll ever get them. So that's it. And if, like I said, if I have another update that I need to come on, I will. Otherwise, I'm not going to make any more updates for videos. But I'll I'll see what happens. But I'd like to know what this was about. Why would she send me this? So there you go. And let's pray that we hear from Mike. Thanks.